Hi, Desai from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got another book to read for you. Today's book is Baby Gonzo Treasure Hunt from 1986. So let's get started. One rainy morning, the Muppet babies were eating breakfast. Geez, Gonzo said grimly, it's raining so hard that Nanny will never be able to take us to the amusement park today. There's nothing to do in the nurseries, and I'm bored. I'm sure you can find something to do if you use your imagination, Kermit suggested. For instance, just look what's on the back of this golden treasure cereal is a real private map. This isn't a real map, Gonzo mumbled, eating another spoonful of cereal. It's only a game on a cereal box. Kermit shook his head. Take a closer look. Gonzo picked up the box and peered at the map. As he studied the map, Gonzo felt the floor moving beneath his feet. When he looked up, he was no longer in the nursery. He was on the deck of a huge private ship, anchored off a tropical island. The ship was the Jolly Gonzo. Around him stood his private crew. They was all pointed at the map in Captain Gonzo's hands. This map means silver, gold, jewels, real treasure. Be the first mate, Mr. K. Aha, agreed the other private. Gonzo shook his head. No, it doesn't. It's just a cereal box map, and I'm bored. But the private wouldn't listen. This is no time to be bored, shouted Mr. K. We had found the treasure map. It's a private duty to hunt for the buried treasure. Well, if you say so, Gonzo shrugged his soldiers. The private all climbed into their long boat and rowed to shore. It says here, said Mr. K, looking at the map, that we first have to cross the swamp to get to the treasure. Looked pretty tame to me, Gonzo yawned. Before they all safely reached the other side of the swamp, Go-To Stan got stuck in the quicksand. Pee-wee was nearly carried off by a giant pink flamingo, and a crocodile tried to bite off Peg Leg. I hadn't had a crossing like that since the time a shark snatched Blackbeard's hat, roared Mr. K. We chased that fish halfway across the Pacific Ocean to get it back. Gondo nodded his head. He couldn't say a word. He was still out of breath from his race with the crocodile. Now the treasure map says we are to climb to the top of Mount Neverest, Mr. K declared. Some mountain can be boring, said Gonzo, but he had a strong hunch this one wouldn't be. During the climb, three of the private almost fell off the cliff. Cutlass Kurt had a shouting match with a big brown bear, and Cross-eyed Jack began an avalanche when he stubbed his toe on a boulder. I hadn't I hadn't made a climb like this since we escaped over the Andes Mountains, chased by a band of wild mountain goats. Mr. K told Gonzo. Those goats were fierce. Wow, said Gonzo, dusting himself off. That was some crime. Next, the map led them to a wide and dangerous river. Captain Gonzo and the private built a sturdy raft and set off across the water, but rapids caught them and whirled them downstream. The next thing they knew, they were going over a 50-foot waterfall. Four of the private was swept overboard. At last, they all at last they are all good swimmers, Mr. K observed, as he helped the last of the private back onto the raft. Silver me timber, Gonzo yelled. This is really exciting. Finally, the private got to a sandy beach. Here, Mr. K shouted, we are supposed to dig for the treasure at the X. All the privates started to dig, with Captain Gonzo working the hardest. Buried treasure, he thought as he dug. This is turning out to be one of the most exciting day ever. I had, I think I hit something, Captain Gonzo yelled. Dig faster before you could say yo ho ho. The private had dug up an old treasure chest. I wonder what's inside, whispered Mr. K. Gold, jewels, it could be the richest treasure in the world. I hadn't seen a decent treasure since we dug up Blackbeard Mother Best silverware. Open it, cried the privates. Captain Gonzo took a deep breath and lifted the top of the chest. All the privates peered inside. Ah, sighed Mr. K. It's the richest treasure in the world, next to Blackbeard Mother Best silverware. Gonzo stared into the chest. What are you talking about? He asked in amazement. The only thing in here is gold treasure cereal. That's right, cheered Mr. K. We're all hungry. We just hiked through a swamp and we were chased by a crocodile, climbed a mountain, and almost got eaten by a big brown bear. We rode a raft over raging waterfalls and dug up a private treasure, and we never stopped for breakfast. Meanwhile, the other private was already taken out their spoons and bowls. Gonzo watched as the private began to eat. He soon realized that he too was feeling very hungry. After all, he thought, I never finished my breakfast. Do you have an extra bow? He asked Mr. K. Back in the nursery, Gonzo was finishing his cereal. Zoe, Kermit, he said, you was right. I just had the greatest private adventure ever. I hiked through a swamp and was chased by a crocodile and climbed a mountain and almost got eaten by a big brown bear. Then I rode a raft over the raging waterfall and dug up a private treasure. Not bad for a rainy morning, Kermit agreed. And you thought you was going to be bored. Bored, Gonzo swallowed his last spoonful. No way. Now that I finished breakfast, I am ready for another adventure. Would anyone like to join me? So that was Baby Gonzo Treasure Hunt from 1986. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a good every day. We have another video coming out real soon.